潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。
Okay, welcome all our audience to another episode of All About Darts, and we have here at CCR the guest Gordon Lambert and our host James Bond, our resident coach, so to speak, an expert, and myself, your host, Robert Bach. So everybody have a nice new year, and say hello to our audience. Gord.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening, everyone. Gord Lambert, also known as Snafu in the darts.
Oh, wow. I wonder where that name comes from, and we obviously will have a fun time talking to him. So let me greet our audience on the other side of the language. 各位聽眾歡迎你哋又一次嚟到我哋呢個潮玩飛鏢嘅節目。今日咧就係有我哋嘅節目主持 Robert， 同埋你嘅另外一位節目主持James Bond 係咪？咁亦都請嚟咗一位好特別嘅嘉賓，就係叫做 Gordon Lambert。佢就有一啲好特別嘅比賽項目同我哋介紹嘅。咁我希望今日響呢個訪問節目中可以俾大家認識到呢啲特別嘅情況同埋佢嘅背景。So Gordon, tell us about yourself a little bit. Where you from and where you work, got family, kind of thing like that.
Well, I'm from Bonneville, Ontario, and I work in Curtis, Ontario at a sheet metal shop called Dytech. And I have a wife and a 15-year-old son.
Wow, that's good. That's a very full life. You have to deal with a wife and kids. So tell us a little bit more about, actually, how... I always pass through Bowmanville, but how far away is it from here, Markham, driving?
About 45 minutes.
Oh, 45 minutes. Oh, I must be speeding on my way to fishing to Peterborough. I don't think it takes 45 minutes for me to get to Bowmanville on a 401. However, I'm discounting the part going down to 401. Okay, Lambert 咧，我哋嘅嘉賓咧，佢係喺 Bowmanville 嗰度佢係一個專做呢啲貼片嘅工程嘅工人嚟嘅，咁佢亦都有一個老婆，有一個仔，都係青年嚟嘅。咁我話佢都係一個好豐滿嘅人生嘅，做咁多嘢，仲要玩飛鏢喎，係咪？Okay, so let's go back to Bong and see what he has to say to our host.
Hello, everyone. Gord Snafu Lambert is one of the organizers of the 64-person knockout tournament, which will be on March 1. I would like to ask Gord Snafu Lambert, how did he start this tournament? It's a unique dart tournament.
What got me the idea was from John Morrison's Singles League, and when I seen how that was working the first year that he did it, I got the idea of, you know what, singles is the way to go.
Oh, so let me just ask this then. We're talking about this special tournament called the 64-person knocked out tournament. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, let me explain that. Okay, 咁我哋訪問呢就係因為Gordon 佢有一個好特別嘅項目嘅，呢個項目呢就係叫做64人生死決啊，即係我叫佢嘅啫嚇，即係點解呢？因為呢佢係64個人喺度一次過定英雄，定出一個手最叻嘅。咁佢話佢呢原本呢就係由一個叫 John Morrison 嘅人嗰度得到呢一個概念出嚟嘅。Okay, so so this tournament What time of the year does it happen? Is it a yearly event?
Once a year, usually around March, early March, late February. It all depends on how I can get the venue.
Okay, and the venue is typically in Bowmanville or
I always do it at the Canadian Corps in Oshawa.
in Oshawa?
Yes.
OK，OK，而家咧呢個咁嘅比賽咧，我哋講呢個64人生死決咧，就係每年舉辦一次，響3月嘅時候，就係響Oshawa 嘅地點嘅，通常佢揾到個地點，咁咧3月嘅時候。咁let's see. So what would be the number of years you've been holding this year by 2015?
This will be my 4th annual tournament.
And obviously there'll be a lot of disappointing people when the 64 slots were filled, right?
Oh yes, there will be a few disappointed people.
So how does one get the names in first ahead of time, sort of play that game?
On the flyer, there's an email address, and I get also a lot of contacts through Facebook, and I also have a page set up on Facebook for the tournament.
Okay, just one more question. What is the earliest time that people could book for the tournament if it's held in March or relative to the tournament day?
I put the flyer up about a month ago, and right away I started getting emails and people saying they wanted to play, so it goes pretty quick.
Yes. OK， 咁我哋要講一講咧，就係話呢一個咁嘅節目64人生死決咧，即係咧就係好有吸引力啊！我心第一個諗法就係話，哇，64人喎，咁樣若果我唔早啲報名，咁咪衰咗，即係入唔到去。咁即係我就於是就睇下有冇問下我哋嘅嘉賓有冇辦法走後門啊？有咩辦法最早可以等到報到名啊？咁佢點同我講咧？佢話我大約1個月之前咧，響個舉行之前咧，佢就會開始接受報名啦。咁咧響面書啊、Facebook 啊、其他各種地方咧都有宣揚嘅。咁你哋個個咧就要睜大隻眼睇下，哇！佢一出現，我嗱嗱聲報名，因為過咗64人就唔報名，過咗蘇州就冇艇搭噶啦，係咪 ？Okay, so yeah, that really sounds exciting, and I think while we were talking about this earlier, you did mention that it's open to both sexes. That is a really great idea.
Yes, I open it up to anybody who wants to play male or female because there's so many great female players out there.
Okay, so here's the ambush question. What is the lowest age? I know there's no limit on upper age. I could be sitting on a wheelchair, or maybe not. But, what is the youngest age you would allow for this tournament?
Well, actually, this year I do have a youth player playing, and I think he's 17 years old, but being a club, they have to be... They cannot be in the building after 8 o'clock.
Huh?
Yes.
So cannot be after 8 o'clock. Oh, well, that would bring up to our next set of questions. But before we get into that, 17-year-old, but you never truly answer my question, is that while you say that one 17-year-old got in this year, is there an actual black and white limit that says, oh, okay, you have to be at least 15 to come in or something?
I've never ever put a limit on it because I've never ever had someone that young.
Because I think that if you're that young, you probably think, wow, I'll be playing with the best of the best in this sort of do or die elimination round, and unless I'm really good, I'm not going to try that.
I would never stop someone from not wanting to try. If some 13 or 14-year-old, I know there's some very awesome youth players out there, and if they want to try playing like that level, I will not stop them because they're only going to get better.
OK， 嗱咁我哋要講一講嘅咧，就係話我有幾個啲嘢好重要嘅問題問我哋嘉賓啦。我就話：喂，咁有冇究竟決定咗有咩最低年齡限制啊？嗱，第一就係男女不拘喎，第二就係有冇年齡限制啊？佢話今年咧有一個17歲嘅嚟，佢話原則上同埋名目上規則上係冇寫定年齡嘅，不過佢話 so far 最後都未有人低過17歲喺度爭取入呢個嘢嗰度。咁即係問題就係話，咁即係佢亦都講，佢話13、14歲嗰啲嘢都有好多少年出英雄喎。如果佢哋中意嚟參加，中意嚟呢個武林大會，我哋十分之歡迎喎，係無任歡迎喎。咁我覺得呢個係好開明、好開通，十分之好嘅一個比賽。咁我鼓勵大家一齊去參加嚇，睇下自己嘅實力夠唔夠，壓力夠唔夠啦。So yeah, so one of the aspects that we need to talk about then, Gordon, is the fact that the tournament, because taking on elimination rounds, will take a long time from start to finish. Roughly, what time does it finish and start?
It starts at about 11 o'clock in the morning, and it usually ends between 6 and 7 in the evening.
Okay. 咁樣嘅嘉賓咧就話俾我哋聽咧，就係話11點鐘開始，通常咧係玩到6點半嘅。咁之前佢亦都有提過咧，就係因為大家都係一個咁樣嘅淘汰賽啦。咁如果你話64人，咁即係有32個比賽喺第一個回合嗰度進行。一陣間比賽嘅規則，我哋再會同大家交代。但係亦都有一個問題，佢講，因為佢係會所嘅規定咧，啲人咧係啲比賽嘅後生嘅咧，17歲或者以下嘅咧，就唔可以逗留多過夜晚黑8點鐘嘅。So in essence, we just give a very good outline of the length of this regular tournament, which is long and hard, and we will talk about other attributes of that as soon as we come back from our first commercial. So we will now take time out, and we will come back later and talk to Gordon and get a better understanding of the details and rules and regulations of this tournament, which I think that everybody will feel that it will be a very exciting set of rules and very different. That's the first time I see that kind of head-to-head and tedious tournament. Okay, we'll be back in a minute.
華語電台着數多，
一卡在手冇錯過。
Canadian Chinese Radio Jet to Card Special.
O'Connor Dental Care 全科牙醫服務，緊急護理、美白、種牙、箍牙專家，憑質素卡享9折。地址1871號 O'Connor Drive，電話416-759-0895。
For all your dental needs plus savings on denture whitening braces and wisdom tooth extraction, visit O'Connor Dental Care, 1871 O'Connor Drive, Toronto, 416-759-0895。
Tikka 印度美食，美味燒雞、傳統咖喱、燒薄餅，食過翻尋味。另有純素食食譜，地址喺6001號14街，電話905-2016-767，質素卡享有85折優惠。
Tikka Indian Delight at 6001 14th Avenue, Markham, 905-201-6767. Jitsu Card 15% off.
飛鏢運動除強身健體之餘，仲可訓練頭腦，又可認識新朋友。由 Multicultural Dart Association 主辦嘅飛鏢訓練班現已接受報名，享譽國際嘅 Peter Scott 同飛鏢占士邦親自教導，5堂課程包用具，只需50蚊。報名及查詢電話416-496-9633。
Learn to play darts with Peter Scott and James Bong Faldas at Multicultural Darts Association. 5 sessions, equipment included, only $50. Please call 416-496-9633 for further details.
質素卡申請及查詢電話416-496-9633。華語電台着數多，一卡在手冇錯過。
潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。
OK，歡迎各位翻到嚟我哋呢個節目潮玩飛鏢。We're back again now and at All About Dots and my name is Robert, your host, and with here we have our resident host James Bond of Dots, and our guest today, Gordon Lambert. Okay, so as we departed last time in the other segment, we were talking about this very exciting 64 person knockout tournament. Okay, so one of the very first questions come to mind is since Gordon already explained that there's both sexes can come in, there's no age limit. Now we're going to look at some of the other issues that are associated with this sort of tournament, and that is qualifications. Does anybody have to achieve anything? Have to be a Class A, Grade A player or anything, Gordon?
No, there's no qualifications.
Wow, okay. So given that, would it burn a hole in my pocket for the entry fee?
No, only $30.
$30, 30 big ones. Okay, so on this line of questioning, one other thing. So what's the payoff?
The payoff pays out the top 8 people.
8 people, okay.
Places. And usually the first place receives around $800.
800 big ones. Well, that's good for a vacation to Cuba. I mean, I'm just looking out the window here and the snow is flying. Okay. 咁我問一啲都比較趣味性嘅問題啊，因為講嚟講去Gordon 話到佢自己呢個64人生死決賽係咪？又不限性別啊，又不限年齡啊，咁我就話仲有咩限制呢？會唔會限制資質呢？即係資歷呢？要唔要啲特別係A 級嘅人先可以重量級嘅人先得呢？佢話冇嘅，完全冇嘅。哇，咁樣，咁我就再問啦。咁呢個究竟呢個入場費有幾多啊？話入場費係每人只不過係30皮30蚊，咁嘅時候咁回報係幾多呢？佢話頭8名都有獎金，而頭嗰一名呢，獎金係高達800元嘅。哇！我就話啦，800元呢個今時今日可以搭飛機落去古巴一日，包飲包食包住咯，已經真係好掂喎。Okay, so now we go back into the about the tournament here. So obviously, about a 64-person knockout tournament, any mathematician would say we start off with 32 matches in the first round. And so my first thought came to mind was that in the club or at the tournament location, how many boards are there for the very first round?
24 boards are available. The first round usually takes a little longer because you got to wait for the boards to open up to finish the other matches, but it always runs so smoothly. People, when there's a board open and you know who you're playing, you jump on that board and you play your match.
Yes, and before I get this going in the other language, let's talk about okay, the first round, the rules for the first round from what I gather on the information sheet I have, or the first 2 rounds rather, is best of 3 set, which meaning is best 3 out of 5 sets. And each set, it consists of 2 out of 3 games. Is that correct?
That's
Yes.
correct.
Oh, okay. So the maximum number of games will be?
You could go 15 games.
Oh, I thought it was.
If it goes to the distance, to the fifth.
Oh, yeah. If it goes to distance, right? Yeah, it could be as much as 15. Okay, so 其實我呢個訪問嗰度，我想搞清楚就係話，哇咁既然係64人生死決，第一輪嘅決賽一定係有32人 或者32個比賽，即係咁32輪嘅淘汰賽。咁究竟嗰個會場嗰度有幾多嘅幾多個標板俾人哋去玩呢？答案就係24嘅。咁你都知啦，咁即係首輪嗰陣時都會好耐啊。咁首輪嘅規則係咩呢？其實首2輪都係5場3勝嘅，邊個即係唔係場係 set 啊？即係五套啊3勝嘅。咁咩為之 set 呢？就係每一 set 就係計3盤2勝。咁換而話講呢，就係話最多可以打出15場嘅。如果大家都有咁嘅耐力，係咪？So yeah, let's go back into this then. And then as I look at the sheet and as we progress, we're going into the 3rd and 4th rounds. So that means at this point that, well, if you go through the first round, there'll be 16 people remaining, right?
Yes.
But what do you mean by the second round? That means that 8 people then already?
When you finish the first round,
16.
16. When you finish the second, there'll be 8 left.
Yes.
So when you at the start of the 3rd, you have 8 people, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. And for that, you go to best 4 out of 7. Okay, I'm beginning to understand all of this and how excited it is just from the format of this particular tournament. And I think we need some explaining for the other side of the audience. Okay, 咁即係換句話講咧，佢第1、2輪咧就係5盤3勝啊嘛。咁即係去完第2輪之後咧，只係第1輪就有16人被唔係32人被淘汰啦。咁啊剩翻16啦。去完第2輪咧，其實得翻8個嘅時候咧，就得翻去到第3輪嘅時候，呢8個人咧就要7盤4勝，係咪？咁再講就係7盤就係繼續係即係2局3盤2勝啊，應該講係嘅局啊。Okay, so let me get this straight again from our guest Gordon. So for the 3rd and 4th round, we are talking about best 4 of 7, but these best 4 sets are still 2 out of 3 games, yes, as well.
Yeah, the same 2 out of 3.
Yes. So now, what is the maximum games now mathematically?
21.
Oh,
21 games.
I'm good. You got the quick wits because after watching the Super Bowl, my mind is still off for the next week. It was too exciting. Okay, so let's see here. 到第3輪同第4輪嘅時候咧，就係7盤4勝，亦都係話係可以玩足21局嘅遊戲嘅，可以即係亦都係一個好長嘅戰鬥。咁樣既然去到第3輪得8個啦，去到第4輪唔係第3輪完咗已經得4個，去到第4輪完咗，咪豈不是得2個？唔係好似有啲唔妥喎，等我問一問佢先。Okay, I'm a little confused here, so maybe we clarify it for the audience. So after the 3rd round, well, the 1st and 2nd round eliminated us down to, we say was the 1st round was 32 left, the 2nd round was 16. So the 3rd round is 8 left, right? The 4th round at the end of 4th round is 4 left.
4, yeah.
Okay. So that makes sense now. Looking down the sheet here. So now we're down to the 5th set, or the 5th round, I should say. I'm getting confused here now. We're down to 4 people, right? Top 4 in the 5th round. And we are now talking about 5 out of 9 sets. Okay.
This is when the endurance sets in.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the endurance in a minute. But 5 out of 9, again, maximum now is 27, right? I think I'm picking up on the mathematics now. 9 times 3 equals 27. Okay, so theoretically, geez, we could be talking a lot of matches. I like to get the numbers in the break, the possible total maximum numbers if you fight all the way and scrap and fight and scrape at the bottom all the way up to the finals. But we'll get to that later. So now at this point we are talking about after the 5th round we will go to the finals. There'll be just 2 people at the finals, and that happens to be out of 6 out of 11, right? So that could be 33.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So now let me say this then. The fact then it's an endurance race of strength, mental and physical capability. Okay, let me go over this. 咁我哋去到呢一個第五輪，第五輪同第五輪已經係最後4個人，咁呢就係要9盤5勝，亦都係可以有27局咁多。去到最後嘅 final 呢，最後決賽呢係11盤6勝，亦都可以講係有33場之多嘅有可能。咁呢一個係完全一個唔止係體力、精力、體魄同埋一個精神上一個能力上嘅決鬥，係一個耐力嘅決鬥。哇！真係講到我都刺激埋，即係呢一個咁去到呢個時候，我哋又要去我哋廣告嘅客戶，聽聽佢有咩説話同我哋講。我哋翻嚟再繼續我哋訪問。OK， 一陣間翻嚟再同大家喺空氣中見面。OK。
華語電台着數多，
一卡在手冇錯過。
Canadian Chinese Radio Jet to Card Special。
O'Connor Dental Care 全科牙醫服務緊急護理美白種牙箍牙專家，憑質素卡享9折，地址1871號 O'Connor Drive， 電話416-759-0895。
For all your dental needs plus savings on denture whitening braces and wisdom tooth extraction, visit O'Connor Dental Care, 1871 O'Connor Drive, Toronto, 416-759-0895。
Tikka 印度美食美味燒雞、傳統咖喱、燒薄餅，食過翻尋味。另有純素食食譜，地址喺6001號14街，電話905-2016-767，質素卡享有85折優惠。
Tikka Indian Delight at 6001 14th Avenue, Markham, 905-201-6767. Jitsu Card 15% off。
飛鏢運動除強身健體之餘，仲可訓練頭腦，又可認識新朋友。由 Multicultural Dart Association 主辦嘅飛鏢訓練班現已接受報名，享譽國際嘅 Peter Scott 同飛鏢占士邦親自教導，5堂課程包用具，只需50蚊。報名及查詢電話416-496-9633。
Learn to play darts with Peter Scott and James Bong Faldas at Multicultural Darts Association. 5 sessions, equipment included, only $50. Please call 416-496-9633 for further details.
質素卡申請及查詢電話416-496-9633。華語電台着數多，一卡在手冇錯過。
潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。
歡迎各位聽眾一次翻到嚟我哋呢個潮玩飛鏢嘅節目，我係你嘅主持 Robert。我哋喺呢度有如常我哋嘅 co-host James Bond，亦都同時有我哋嘅嘉賓 Gordon Lambert 喺呢度。阿 Lambert 咧就係喺 Bowmanville 嗰度嘅會嘅。咁我哋繼續我哋嘅訪問啦。咁我哋啱先講到就係話 我哋呢一個64人生死決嘅一個好刺激嘅挑戰呢，就每年都有上演就比賽，咁亦都講咗唔少關於呢一個條例嘅。咁我哋再繼續我哋訪問呢，就係想了解多啲其他呢一個比賽嘅花絮啊，或者乜嘢。咁等我第一個就係訪問繼續呢個訪問。First thing I want to welcome audience back for this segment. Let's continue with talking to our guest here today, Gordon Lambert. Gordon, last time in the last segment we talked about the rules and the participation and the length of this very exciting tournament. So now let's get to some of the other aspects of it and provide our information to the the audience. While we were having a little bit of a break, I was looking at the number of possible rounds, and the number was staggering. When I added it all up, it was 30 matches, 30 matches, yes, for each of actually 15 each for first and second round, and 21 for the third and fourth round, which makes it 42. Another 27 for the fifth round, and in the final there's possible 33 rounds, 33 games. So that total come to a staggering number of 132. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And I also hear something about our residents here, James Bond, who was involved in this tournament in at least 2013 and 14. So maybe you can tell us a little bit of how he did.
Well, Bong in 2013 played some very awesome darts to get to the finals against Chris Hines, and before losing to Chris in the finals, I cannot remember what the game set was, but it was probably some of the best darts I've seen in years.
Okay, so he was in the finals in 2013, right? Okay. 其實咧，我哋詹士邦咧，佢就響2013年嗰陣時去到第二啊，因為佢係決賽嗰度有份啊，咁佢冇話佢第一，即係第二啦嚇，佢輸咗嘅。And to go back a little bit to 2014, how did our resident expert do? Okay, one of you.
I was playing in the tournament last year. I think I was only on the second round because it's really tough playing against one of the best players in Oshawa, and it was too bad. I expect too much that I could go back again in the finals, but I was so happy because one of my students, Rachel Pinalusa, was playing in the finals against Bernie Miller. Bernie Miller is one of the best in Canada right now, and playing in the finals with one of my students, it fills me happy about teaching darts.
Oh, okay. So was it because you had an injury in 2014, and so you send your disciple or students out there and take it on for you, huh?
Maybe.
But
going back on 12-13, I think I was playing all these numbers of what you are calculating in the semifinals. That when I played against Chris Derek Hines in the finals, looking about like 6 out of 11 games, I was already tired looking at the number.
yeah, because because apparently the tournaments typically last from 11 in the morning till 6:30 at night.
Yes.
So okay, let me bring this up to speed here. 就係咁樣嘅，因為邦咧佢話咧佢就 2013年嗰陣時咧，真係好辛苦啊！去到決賽嗰陣時啊，差啲真係攰到唔起得身啦。咁佢因為你都知啦，我哋講過有成130幾個嘅場嘅可能啊。咁即係佢真係玩到攰晒啦。咁2014年呢，佢又受咗傷喎。咁啊，佢啊有個藉口啦，受咗傷，佢就話佢亦都好高興呢，佢個徒弟就一個菲律賓人嚟嘅，就同呢個去到決賽同呢個叫 Bernie Miller 嘅對決。咁佢都係有好大嘅安慰嘅。And so we are talking about here and this tournament and how some of the exciting aspects of it. We also maybe were talking about earlier about how people could know a little bit about the organization. So, Gordon, once again, what's the name of the group and what is its name on the Facebook? Two different things. The Facebook one is about the tournament, I hear.
There's a Facebook group set up called the 64-person Knockout Tournament. And anybody who's ever played or wants to play can join the group and get all the information as getting closer to the tournament of how many people have been registered, when it starts, what other information like how to get there and stuff like that. So all the information's on that group page on the Facebook.
Well, that's cool. And did you say the name of your group is?
64-person Knockout Tournament.
Right, in a Facebook, but your actual group that you belong to, where you play darts that sponsor this tournament is called?
Oh, the Canadian Corps.
Oh, okay. 咁嘅我哋嘅嘉賓呢，就話俾我哋聽，佢嘅面書啊 Facebook 嘅名稱呢，就叫 64-person Knockout Tournament。咁大家可以去睇一睇，我相信有好詳盡嘅以前嘅相片啊或者資料喺嗰度嘅。咁佢自己本身呢一個贊助同埋舉辦呢個活動嘅 group 呢，就叫 Canadian Corps，OK？即係 CORPS， 即係都係呢個俾啲退伍軍人啊或者而家現役軍人嘅。咁So let's go back to this Facebook thing here. Do we have on this Facebook thing old archives of tournaments, winners, and all that? Maybe.
Yes, there is. There's pictures, winners.
And maybe those come in second, like Bong. He'll be there, right?
Yes.
In 2000 and the archive of 2013, right?
Yes, he graced the page's group picture for a whole year.
Oh, and then 2014, I don't know. If you are only last 16, I don't know if you get the pictures on again.
The best question here is, Gord, can you recall who won the first champion and the second champion and the third champion? Or
Yes.
something like that?
First year we played, Paul Carlson was in the finals against Jeff Smith, and Paul Carlson won that one. The second year, it was Chris Hines and Bong. And last year, it was Bernie Miller versus Richard Pedalosa.
Oh, all of these names, are they household names? Because I'm not going to try and remember it, and people could hear about that.
I would say they're household names in the dart community.
Yes.
Well, that's good. So any of them get to the represent Ontario or Canada?
Paul Carlson was in the Team Ontario for the National Darts Federation of Canada, and Bernie Miller is one of the best in the Dominion Legion all over Canada, and Darts Ontario for the Team Canada, for the National Dart Federation of Canada.
So you're saying that out of the 4 winners, we actually in the 4 tournaments, how many we have now? We are starting our 4th year, so there were 3 before this.
Yes.
Out of the 3, the champions, any of the 3 champions in the Canadian team or Ontario team? Can you talk about that?
Paul Carlson and Bernie Miller, except maybe Derek Hines is one of the household name in darts in Oshawa and Durham Pub Dart League.
Okay, so maybe 2 of them were in the Canadian national, actually national, and the other one is he Ontario? Is he Ontario?
Not yet, but he's
not yet, but he's upcoming.
Yes.
Okay, well that's very cool. I think these are very good tournaments to not only bring out the new potential players, but so that they could compete with some of the best. And as you have proven, these people who won the tournament are also co-winners and representing Canada, right? Yes. So let me explain this a little bit. 其實我話今次係第4次舉辦嘅，咁即係之前3屆冠軍有咩來頭呢？咁原來其中一個叫做 Paul Carlson 同埋一個叫 Bernie Miller 嘅，都係代表加拿大嘅，因為我哋以前都講過，有一啲代表加拿大嘅比賽去到最後代表加拿大隊。咁另外一個 Derek Hines 咧，亦都係一個新進嘅，雖然佢而家仲未代表呢個加拿大。咁所以咧，呢個係一個十分之充滿挑戰嘅比賽。我希望佢繼續每年都舉辦，繼續每年都吸引到一啲後生嘅或者係新入行嘅去挑戰啲老將，而大家喺呢啲比賽之中吸取經驗同埋教訓，將佢哋技術推上更進一層樓。咁而家我哋去到呢度呢，又要去我哋客戶嘅説話，我哋翻嚟之後再繼續呢個訪問。
華語電台着數多，
一卡在手冇錯過。
Canadian Chinese Radio Jet to Card Special。
O'Connor Dental Care 全科牙醫服務緊急護理美白種牙箍牙專家，憑質素卡享9折，地址1871號 O'Connor Drive， 電話416-759-0895。
For all your dental needs plus savings on denture whitening braces and wisdom tooth extraction, visit O'Connor Dental Care, 1871 O'Connor Drive, Toronto, 416-759-0895。
Tikka 印度美食美味燒雞傳統咖喱燒薄餅，食過翻尋味，另有純素食食譜，地址喺6001號14街，電話905-2016-767，張圖卡享有85折優惠。
Tikka Indian Delight at 6001 14th Avenue, Markham, 905-201-6767. Jitsu Card 15% off。
飛鏢運動除強身健體之餘，仲可訓練頭腦，又可認識新朋友。由 Multicultural Dart Association 主辦嘅飛鏢訓練班現已接受報名，享譽國際嘅 Peter Scott 同飛鏢占士邦親自教導，5堂課程包用具，只需50蚊。報名及查詢電話416-496-9633。
Learn to play darts with Peter Scott and James Bong Faldas at Multicultural Darts Association. 5 sessions, equipment included, only $50. Please call 416-496-9633 for further details.
質素卡申請及查詢電話416-496-9633。華語電台着數多，一卡在手冇錯過。
潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。
Okay, welcome back to our show, All About Darts, and Bob. I'm Robert, or Bob, your host, and my co-host James Bond, and our guest Gordon Lambert, both here, and we are now going to cut into our segment for Darts Update first. So let's hear what Bong has to say.
Watch and cheer your favorite players. The 4th annual 64 Knockout Dart Tournament on Sunday, March 1st, 2015. Entry fee is only like $30 per person and top 8 will be paid out. But we already are full out of 64 players that Gord have contacted. The play starts at 11 o'clock in the morning. This is a donation. This year, donation of canned goods are accepted for Salvation Army. There's also a 50-50 draw plus other prizes. Oshawa Canadian Corps, 142 Athol Street East, Oshawa, for Salvation Army.
OK， 咁嘅我哋要宣佈呢，就係我哋啱講過嘅64人生死決呢，就係第4屆舉行，咁就將會係3月1號禮拜日舉行。正如我哋之前講，就係30蚊入場費，同埋最後8強呢係會有獎金嘅嚇。咁亦都講過頭獎係差唔多700-800蚊咁上下喎。嗱咁呢就幾時開始呢？就係由11點一路去到6點45分。嗱好不幸咁講呢，就係話我哋話男女老幼都得。但係結果我哋講到最後都係已經俾人哋報晒名啦，所以今年呢，就如果你就係想參加咧，係遲咗得個睇字，即係個講字睇字係。咁今年亦都接受捐獻一啲罐頭食物俾呢個救世軍，咁亦都有好多抽獎啊，其他嘅獎品。咁如果你想去睇嘅話呢，就可以去到呢個 Oshawa Canadian Corps 佢哋嘅比賽地點應該係142號 Ethel Street East， 就喺 Oshawa 嗰度，即係我哋呢度東邊嘅小鎮。
The 38th Annual Open Darts Tournament, Saturday, March 7, 2015. Cambridge, Newfoundland Club, 1500 Dunbar Road, Cambridge, Ontario. $80 entry fee per team. Events, doubles. It's a knockout and then team of 4 persons, round robin format. 90% of all entry fee returned as prizes. 10% goes to the local charity. Hall opens at 9 a.m. for practice boards and registration closes at 11:15 a.m. Matches start at 11:30. For more information, call the organizer, Tony, 519-221-0314 or email pye61@tekisavvy.com. Last year's champions, congratulations for the 4-person team. It was Andre Carman, Darren Allen, John Verwey, and Chris Scott. For the doubles, it's Dan Olson and Kiri Howe.
OK， 我哋亦都有第38屆嘅每年公開飛鏢比賽，就係禮拜六3月7號舉行。喺邊度呢？就係喺 Cambridge 鎮Cambridge 市嗰個 Newfoundland Club 嗰度。我都知道呢度係應該喺呢個 Highway 24嗰度嘅。咁呢佢呢就係叫做1500號 Dunbar Road 喺 Cambridge 嗰度。就入場費呢就每一隊80蚊。咁亦都係有啲 double 嘅 knockout game 啦。就4個人組嘅淘汰賽啦。咁90% 嘅入場費呢，就會變咗係獎勵費獎品。咁有10% 呢，就係去咗本地嘅慈善機構嗰度。咁嗰個會堂呢，就會喺9點鐘開始俾各位去演習。嗰個登記呢，就係11點15分停止。咁比賽正式呢，就係11點30分。如果各位想要多啲資料呢，請你去 call 呢個519210314阿 Tony， 或者 email pye61@tekisavvy.com。舊年嘅冠軍呢，呢度有4個人啦 ，double 亦都有4個人嘅。咁名字呢，你自己翻轉睇，再聽一聽。
OK。Multicultural Dart Association aims to help promote darts as a sport with educational social approach and basic mechanics, plus highly competitive atmosphere in a friendly setting. MDA also aims to help promote darts darts players in soft tip and steel tip darts. Visit MDA Clubhouse at Canadian Chinese Radio, Suite 200A, 650 Highway 7 East, Richmond Hill, Ontario. Contact 647-997-0808 for Chinese language, 647-712-5222 English language. Multicultural Dart Association。
各位多元文化飛鏢協會咧，就係幫大家去呢個增進呢個運動飛鏢運動，咁咧亦都係響一個好有競爭性嘅環境之下俾大家比賽嘅。咁我哋呢個多元文化飛鏢協會咧就會幫大家響呢個軟同埋硬飛鏢嗰度增進自己嘅技能。你如果想嚟睇見我哋嘅會址咧，你就嚟呢個200號 A 650Highway 7 East 近住 Richmond Hill Ontario。你可以打電話中文就係647-997-0808，或者英文係647-712-5222。Okay, so now we're going back to our regular interview with our guest here, Gordon Lambert. So for this very last segment, what can Gordon tell us a little bit about the futures of this tournament? But before that, even I think we talked about over the segment was the participation of females and how high they achieve in terms of the tournament, right?
Right.
Okay, so maybe you can tell us a little bit.
Well, 2 years ago, Cindy Party from Alberta played, and she finished in the top 16. And throughout the 3 years that we've done the tournament, there have been a good dozen to 16 women that have played in the tournament.
Okay, so 其實過去幾年咧都有差唔多十幾個啦女士參加嘅，咁佢哋最佳嘅成績咧係去到最後16強嘅。咁呢一個對女對男都係一個好好嘅表現啦，已經，因為你知啦，我唔知但係我覺得男性嘅體力或者會搶持久力可能會好過女性少少，呢啲純屬我個人意見。So so about the future of the tournament, what do you envision, Gordon?
I envision maybe doubling it to 128 people.
Ooh.
And I would love to see it being televised either over the internet or over local radio or over local TV stations. It's always good to, look into the future and envision a bigger, tournament and everything. And I'm only looking at it to go up and up.
Great. I feel that just all test the organizational skill of the organization itself and its people. So I think that's the right direction, and that's good for the entire sports. Okay, so 我問我哋嘉賓，你究竟將來展望有咩呢？對於呢一個咁刺激嘅挑戰淘汰賽，我將來希望增加到128，或者係有電視去做嘢啦。或者係響互聯網嗰度之前或者過後啦，或者甚至係一啲本地嘅電視台亦都可以播嘅，咁呢個係一個好嘅嘢。And on one final note, maybe very quickly, not just 128 tournament, maybe another thought is to have multiple 64 tournaments.
I've been approached about that too, about having 2 a year.
That's good.
Well, that's another good idea.
Yes.
Okay, so let me say this. On that note, I would like to thank you for coming to the show.
And I thank you very much.
Yes, and I'm going to now talk to our Chinese audience for the last little segment. Is that 我都同Gordon 我哋嘅嘉賓講過，我話如果128咧就真係好考起呢個主辦單位嘅辦事能力，或者可以諗下2個64嘅生死決都係一個辦法。佢話呢個都有諗過，呢個都絕對可以做嘅。 所以 now I'm going to switch over to Bong just for a second for him to say his Chinese program name and see if he got improvement.
潮玩飛鏢，
潮玩飛鏢 OK
恭喜發財。
Okay, he's even putting that for our Chinese New Year. I think he's a very nice guy and he's coming along. One of these days, I'm going to try to make him do this all by himself in Cantonese.
Thank you very much.
Just a joke. Once again, I'd like to thank Mr. Lambert for coming. You've given us very good insight and information about your 64 knockout tournament. One of the best thoughts in all of my program, and for people to get involved and improve. Thank you again. Until next time, this is your host, Robert. Goodbye.